and the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Welcome to NFL Game Day Morning presented by Lowe's. Let's tackle home together. We are inside the Los Angeles studios of NFL Game Day Morning. Pleased to be with you. I'm your humble host, Rich Eisen. Michael Irvin, good to see you back right here on our set.
Yeah, it's good to have you back.
Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer, is here for a 4-hour edition of NFL Game Day Morning. Mike, Steve Mariucci sitting to my left. Good to see Mooch. Happy birthday to 1-year-old Jackson Jenkins, son of NFL Game Day Morning segment producer Jason. What a beautiful scene that is right there. Father and son on the beach in Los Angeles.
All right,
and the thing is,
beautiful.
This young man, as you can see, is being raised right. You can see on his sweatshirt right there. Jackson is a 1-year-old who only knows an earth where Michigan pounds Ohio State and hangs 40. So, Jackson, it's a great world in which we live. The sky is blue. This yellow maze orb in the sky is called the sun. It's a very bright and sunshiny day here on NFL Game Day Morning. What do you recommend?
I'm keeping track of how many mentions Michigan gets today. All right.
Honestly, I didn't call for a topic bar. If you wish to do it,
topic bar is a mention.
Right,
all right, that's too, Rich.
I can't be held responsible.
There are just times when it should just. You should be able to have as many mentions as you want.
I appreciate
You've got 4 hours to do it.
I appreciate that. All of you are even having a counter. Okay, very good. All right. You know what? I like it. I like it a lot, as a matter of fact. Sunday storylines. Let's get to professional football right here.
All right. Well,
on NFL Game Day Morning. Steve, you first.
Well, first, I ask you guys, who's got it better than us? Nobody. That's a mention, because you listen to it, okay?
I approve the message. What do you got?
How about those Washington Commanders, all right, with Ron Rivera? Man, they've won the last 5 out of 6 games. They're a hot, confident team. The only game they lost was to the Vikings by 3 points. This team, hey, they're right there, 8th seed. I don't know if they can make the playoffs. I think they can, but they sure can be the spoiler. Taylor Heineke is tearing it up. He's having a lot of fun doing it. And stick around, because Mooch's Minute is going to talk about Taylor Heineke.
And for me, I'm going to go to the Sunday night game. And I know 3 weeks ago I said the Packers are done. And although they're not a dominant team, I don't think they'll be dominant all year long. They actually played better the last couple of weeks and found their identity, and it starts with running the football. They're running the football for about 130 yards a game, which would be top 10 in the National Football League. Christian Watson giving them a little something on the outside. And then you've got the Philadelphia Eagles, who 3 weeks ago were the most dominant team in the National Football League. I don't know if this team's going to lose. And now they've struggled, and they've come back to earth the last couple weeks. So I'm just watching this game to see which of these two teams can make that big statement. Can the Eagles say, hey, we still are the team to beat, and we're going to show you in dominant fashion? Or can the Packers, even though I'm not sure they get back into the playoff race, can they go, hey, we got something to say about this as they beat the Cowboys, competitive against the Titans, and now have the Eagles?
I like that, but you had to beat the Cowboys in there. They knew what happened.
I had to put that in there.
You didn't have to really throw that in there. Let me tell you something. I woke up.
They beat the Cowboys.
I woke up this morning thinking, man, I'm so thankful to be here with you guys after I was, missing in action last week, man. And then, when I got up, I looked up, man, let me show you something. This fella right here.
Sunglasses?
This good fella. When I looked up, I saw this fella. He was looking at me. I said, hey, good morning, you good-looking fella. He said, good morning. I said, isn't this a great morning? He said, yes, you get to be with your boys again this morning. I'm not at home in that chair all by myself. It's so difficult for me to sit in that chair for 4 hours. I'm so happy to be back with you guys. I'm so thankful for this. I just don't know what to do. And speaking of good-looking, come on, man, stop,
you know
man.
what to do.
God almighty, that was the hardest thing in the world for me. You guys know how hard it is for me to sit still.
I know that. I love it. I'm actually wondering, why did there need to be a change of glasses for that?
Sunglasses.
I don't know, because it just looked good this morning. I felt great, man. I felt great this morning, Rich. I was happy for you. You know what I'm saying? And the big win. And Kurt's kids are playing so great. And we got a lot of good things going on right now. So I was just happy for it. But let me say, speaking of looking good, so the best looking game this week is really the game the only game between winning teams, which is the Bengals and the Titans. You guys remember what happened last year when the Bengals knocked the Titans out of the playoffs. That's the best-looking game. That's the storyline outside of how good I look.
I was going to say, I didn't think we were going to get to any football.
Right.
I know the storyline is just going to be how good you look this morning.
But I look that good.
We got to football.
I felt that good, too. I felt good.
We got there.
Baltimore is in Jacksonville while the Bengals visit the Titans as the AFC North appears to be a two-team race entering the Thanksgiving weekend Sunday. And to kick off our reporter whip around is Mike Giardi in Nashville. Mike?
Good to be back.
For the first time since January, the Titans and Bengals will play again, a rematch of their divisional round playoff game in which the Bengals stunned the Titans, the #1 seed. But don't talk to Mike Vrabel about this being a revenge game. That is clearly the furthest thing from his mind. He went around the locker room and said, raise your hand if you weren't here last year. More than half the guys had their hands up. He said, a different team, a different year. We have to play Titans football this year. Now to James Palmer in Philadelphia.
Well, thank you, Mike. Rain is expected in the forecast this evening in Philadelphia, and Aaron Rodgers dealing with that broken right thumb over the last few weeks, working on a lot of grip exercises on the football. Now, I also this week talked to Eagles cornerback Darius Slay, who's played Rodgers 15 times in his career. He told me watching the film, he could tell something was off with Rodgers these last few weeks, but he also said he's the GOAT. He can beat you playing through anything. Now let's go to Sarah Walsh in Cleveland.
Tom Brady and the Buccaneers come off their bye with momentum, looking to make it 3 straight today, but they may have to do it without their best run stopper in Vita Vea. He is questionable with a foot injury. He leads the Bucs with 6.5 sacks. Todd Bowles says they're going to test him out before the game and expect the run game to factor in heavily for both teams, because if you can see the field behind me, which is tarp right now, it is a soggy mess here in Cleveland today. Now to Mike Garafolo in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Zach Wilson against Justin Fields, a matchup of 2 first-round quarterbacks. Would you settle for Mike White against Trevor Siemian? Wilson benched. Fields not expected to play because of that shoulder injury. As for the Jets, they're saying, look, we have to win some games. We are in the middle of a playoff race, and that's why White is getting the start for the Jets here at MetLife Stadium today. Now to a guy who is covering a matchup of 2 recent first-round quarterbacks, Cameron Wolfe.
Thanks, Mike. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens finally have good injury news. Their quarterback is good to go today despite a hip injury. He also will have a quartet of playmakers for him to play. Gus Edwards, his running back, receivers DeMarcus Robinson and Devin Duvernay, and veteran receiver Deshaun Jackson, all expected to play to spark a Ravens passing attack and keep atop that AFC North. Now to Ian Rappaport with some news.
Thanks, Cam. Matthew Stafford out today for the Los Angeles Rams. Young quarterback Bryce Perkins gets the start. Here's my understanding of Matthew Stafford's health. The Rams have no plans, sources say, to shut him down. In fact, his health is improving. The numbness in his legs that he was dealing with from a stinger, that has gone away. He is feeling a lot better. He's in the NFL's concussion protocol, but did not actually get diagnosed with a concussion. They just put him in there out of an abundance of caution. He is feeling better, and when cleared, should play. Meanwhile, another quarterback who should play, Kyler Murray, is officially back for the Arizona Cardinals. Missed a couple games with a hamstring injury. And, you know, before he was injured, things got a little tense between him and Cliff Kingsbury. My understanding is during that time away, during that break, the two sat down, hashed out some differences, worked on their communication, and came up with a plan going forward to get on the same page down the stretch, Rich.
All right, Ian, thanks very much for that. Somebody get some catered cold spaghetti for Irv so he can ease back into this. Well done.
Good call,
Greg.
good call.
Well done.
Was that
Great
cold
suggestion.
spaghetti?